Hi everyone, how you doing today? Yes, you're welcome back to Sports Talk with Solo Fight. And today, yes, I'll be talking about the game that happened between the Spanish side versus the French national side in the semi-finals of the Euros 2024. We all know this is the season of the Euros 2024. Beautiful games we've been seeing from the beginning of the Euros till this very day. France going into that very game without having to score a goal from open play, even conceding from open play, it never happened until they got to meet the Spanish side, which were a very outstanding side. You can't take that away from them. They were fantastic, always found a way to put the ball at the back of the net. We saw the game against the host nation, Germany, which stretched to extra time. But the Spanish side, they refused to take the game to penalty shootouts. They edged the Germans. Of course, Marco Kurela had the ball struck his arm in the penalty box, but the referee refused to give it as a penalty kick. That was the reason why he was being booed when they met the French national side yesterday. Yes, Spain, France, a team that were unable to score goals from the beginning of the competition till this very stage, from open play. It happened here. Kylian Mbappe, he gave a beautiful assist to Kolo Muani, and Kolo Muani beautiful header, put the ball at the back of the net. And of course, from that onset, they were like, wow, France, finally, they were able to score a goal from an open play. But if you look critically how the French national side, how they did set up, previously, they were adopting a diamond formation, having to play Antoine Griezmann up front, as a number 10. Sometimes the Toxin as a false nine. They were adopting a diamond formation, which hasn't been, very prolific for them. They've been struggling, creativity and the rest of them. And now he had to adopt a very different formation entirely, having to play Tchouaméni, N'Golo Kante, and Andre Rabiot. Of course, he missed the previous game because of suspension. He had to adopt three of them in the heart of the midfield, playing three men up front: Kylian Mbappe, Kolo Muani, and of course, Dembele was playing from the right-hand side, Kylian Mbappe coming from the left. It was a different formation entirely from what the Deschamps have been adopting from the beginning of this very competition. At some point, it was working out for the French side, but immediately they got the goal, it was as if they lost it all. They had to sit back, absorbing the pressure from the Spanish national side. We know De La Fonte, he is a very fantastic manager, fantastic coach. If you see how the Spanish side transits the ball from deep to up front, it's very beautiful to watch. A very good side. Looking at the age of the players participating in the competition, young players, Dani Cavara, Nacho, and Jesus Navas, they are the oldest, players participating, playing with the Spanish national side. Of course, they have a beautiful player up front, talking about Lamine Yamal. What an outstanding 16-year-old lad. Prior to that very game, there was a message put out there by Adrien Rabiot of the French side that if Yamal wants to go straight into the finals, he has to do something spectacular, more than he's been doing from the inception of this competition. Of course, we saw exactly what happened. But talking about the formation Deschamps had to adopt, this is the first time since 2014 that Antoine Griezmann had to sit back, start from the bench from the French national side. But something was lacking. N'Golo Kante was playing like a box-to-box midfielder. We know Kante lacks creativity. His major position that he tries very well is the defensive midfielder, of course, which Tchouaméni was sitting back to play in that very position, trying to dictate from play. Adrien Rabiot, he was not up and doing in that very game. They had to take him out. But creativity hasn't been there since Paul Pogba left that French national side. At some point, he had to make a little change, leave Edouard Camavinga and Tchouaméni sit back. He brought in Antoine Griezmann to play ahead of them as a number 10, leaving three men up front. But still lack creativity. How many touches did Antoine Griezmann get in that very game? Only a very few. When they needed goal, they brought in Olivier Giroud, quite a fantastic player. Of course, the last kick, his last participation with the French national side, he has officially retired from international football. Did he get a touch? How many touches did Olivier Giroud get in that very game? Very, very few. And of course, without creativity in the midfield of the French national side, of course, the things were not working out. How many chances were they able to create? they were lacking. And of course, this is looking like the end of an era for the Deschamps. He's been there for 12 whole years. That's a whole lot of, I know that he's won them the World Cup. He's been doing good with them. But the performance is beginning to dwindle. How do you expect a team that have been struggling to put the ball at the back of the net, struggling to finding their way to get through the group stages, get through the round of 16, the quarterfinals, and get into the semi-finals, meeting a team that they were always scoring? The Spanish side always finding a way to put the ball at the back of the net. They've been prolific. Come on, how do you expect the French national side to scale through against a formidable side like the Spanish side? Yes, they scored the very first goal from open play, but that wasn't enough. They were not prolific enough. Kylian Mbappe wasn't at his A game. Sometimes he had to play, after the changes that were made, he had to come from the middle to play as a first nine, sometimes as a striker, but he's never worked out. They had to switch back to the left-hand side when Olivier Giroud came up. A lot went wrong with the French national side. Quality defense they have. Upamecano, William Saliba, very solid when it comes to defensive duties. Jules Koundé, no doubt. He has been prolific in this very competition, but he wasn't up and doing very against the Spanish side. Even Teo Hernandez, he still wasn't doing very well. But unfortunately, they had to exit the competition. This is one of the very open games that I've seen the French national side play. But quite a sad one. The Deschamps need to go back to the drawing board. If he will continue as the head coach of the French national side, go to the drawing board, look for a creative midfielder. At a point, some other games he had to play, Eduardo Camavinga, he had to play N'Golo Kante, he had to play Tchouaméni at the heart of the midfield. And these three guys are defensive midfielders. Where are you going to get the creativity from? Of course, when the midfield games are won and lost at the heart of the midfield. So when the midfield isn't prolific, there's every tendency that you might, lose that very game. Of course, let's talk about the 16-year-old, of course, who turned 17 on a Saturday before the finals. Lamine Yamal. This boy is outstanding. He had to prove the critics wrong, prove Adrian Rabiot wrong. Rabiot that said that he had to do something outstanding if he wants to get to the final. Of course, he pulled off what a goal. What a goal coming from a 16-year-old lad, the youngest lad to score in the Euros semi-final, the youngest lad to score in this competition. He's outstanding. Of course, at some point, his age, he's young, he's still learning the process. He's playing like somebody, that has been in the game for ages, with some little content of experience, but at some point, he had tired legs, tired minds. He wasn't really doing very well in that very game towards the end of that very game, but you can't do that to a very fantastic player. Pulling crosses, he's outstanding. Yes, Spain coming from the midfield, we have Rodri, Fabian Ruiz. These guys are outstanding. Rodri, nothing actually gets a pass to him. He knows how to read the game. He's very, very, very fantastic. You can't take that away from De La Fonte. The way he's building this team, he has built them. There's been consistency with what he's been doing with them. And of course, kudos to them. They looked at the better side. They had clear-cut opportunities to actually score more goals. Beautiful goal coming from Dani Olmo. Yes, that goal wasn't awarded to Jules Koundé as an own goal because the ball was headed straight to the left corner of the right corner of the goal post. So it was heading straight to the back of the net before Jules Koundé had to intercept the ball and then redirect it to another side of the net. But it was awarded to Dani Olmo. He owned that very goal. Kudos to the Spanish side. What an outstanding side they've been. What a prolific side. There are chances that they might go all the way to the finals to actually lift the title. If they do, it wouldn't be a fluke. They've actually worked hard for it. They deserve it. Lamine Yamal, what a fantastic player. Alvaro Morata dropping deep. Though up front he has been prolific as a goal scorer, but dropping deep to help the midfielders, he has been doing very well. Even trying to rush back to help the defenders, he has been very well in that very aspect. Yes, Williams, the young lad, he wasn't prolific in that very game yesterday against the French national side, but he has been good all ramification in this very competition. Spain, you have to give De La Fonte his credit. You have to give the Spanish national side his credit. Like I said, it wouldn't be a fluke if Spain go out to win this very competition. We need to applaud them for what they've been doing. Jesus Navas, of course, an aged man, he was the one trying to curtail the excesses of Kylian Mbappe earlier in the game. But, when he got started, look at, of course, he couldn't continue due to one or two injuries. They had to bring out Vivian. Vivian not being the first choice, not being the second choice. He was the top choice for De La Fonte. But he had to play. He had to fill in the shoes. And, of course, he did very well defensively. If not for the goal coming from Kolo Muani, France would have, exited the competition without scoring a goal from an open play. Of course, they had to concede from an open play from the Spanish national side. But, in our application, the Deschamps need to go back home, sit back, and, of course, go back to the drawing board and see what went went wrong. That is if he has to continue as a France head coach. Then kudos to De La Fonte. What a fantastic Spanish side. Hopefully, they continue doing what they do. And of course, if I won't say if they deserve the trophy, because looking like they deserve the trophy. Is it the Three Lions that will stop them, or the Dutch side? We'll get to see after that games happen. Yes, don't forget to like, share this video so they can get to as many people as possible, and subscribe to Sports Talk with Solo Fight. Bye bye.